Everybody, it is Liz with Liz Art Finds. I'm here today with another haul video, and I am a part-time reseller on Niknax.net and over on eBay. I try to do weekly haul videos to show you guys what I've picked up in the past week. And before we get into today's video, I just want to issue a little bit of an apology because I was wrong last week about something, and I did update the little the notes under the video once I figured it out. But all of those beautiful glass pendants that I was so excited about, that I got in a lot on Facebook Marketplace, they are looking more and more like they are imports from China, and they are not art glass pieces. So I will not be selling them on Niknax, at least not until or unless somebody tells me that they are actually art glass. I'll figure out a way to either lot them up over on eBay or sell them at a yard sale or sell them back on Marketplace. I would still do smaller lots, but I was so sure. And that just goes to show you, I mean, you know, when you go out of what you know, sometimes you make mistakes. And that goes for anybody that's just getting started in reselling. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn. You know, I'm semi-confident now on some of the pottery and glass that I'm finding, and figurines and things like that, where I'm finding a lot of similar things where I can recognize it right away. And jewelry is so outside my wheelhouse, which is ironic because I have another little side hustle where I sell, you know, direct sales jewelry stuff. But that's a whole different, it's different. It's so different. So, you know, here I was thinking, oh, it's art glass. How can I go wrong? Yeah, went wrong. So anyway, I spent only $30 on that lot. I'm sure I can get at least 50 or 60, probably more, but I got to rethink how I'm going to sell those pieces. So I just wanted to put that out there as kind of a learning lesson, because that's what we've been doing for a couple of years here on this channel, is we're trying to learn stuff together, right? So just putting that out there. Now let's get to this week, because this week was awesome. Like one of the best weeks that I've had so far. Not like finding something like $500 or $600 like we did last year. I found some good stuff. I also had an amazing sale over on Niknax, and we'll talk about that. I think, actually, you know what, we'll talk about that sooner rather than later, because I do want to do my what solds. So hopefully I printed them. I did print out somewhere, yes, everything that sold this past week. So not including the 30 some paperweights. How many did I sell? 36 items in my paperweight sale, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Before we do that, let's just look at what's sold over on eBay. Now these I showed you guys fairly recently. I picked them up at, I don't even remember where, but I paid $14.24 for this pair of tiki mugs, okay? They are worth some money, and I had them listed over $80. I got an offer of $70 for the pair. I took that offer. My profit after all the fees and everything was $47.28 on this pair of tiki mugs. So that was super exciting. That was the only sale on eBay this week. I had a ton of sales on Niknax. Now what happened was I had a paperweight sale scheduled for Friday night, this past Friday night, and I did it over on Niknax. But because of that and some of the advanced marketing I was doing, people were starting to look at the sale. So they go into the preloaded items and look at what's there, but I also put in some things from my store that are similar. So I had old paperweights in there, and I had, well, not old paperweights, paperweights that had run previously that had not sold. I put them in my buy it now. And then the other thing that happens is sometimes if somebody's just discovering you for the first time, they're like, oh, I wonder what's in her store. And they check out the store. So I had some sales from the store prior to my actual paperweight sale. So we'll talk about those. I sold this Ken Edwards spoon rest, and it was actually signed KE on the back. So it was an actual Ken Edwards piece. I had paid $1.99 for it. I probably should have folded these up. I paid $1.99 for it, and it sold for $22. My profit on that after all the fees was $17.19. So that was a good one. It's probably only been listed for a few months. The other one sold a sort of kind of paperweight. This wooden quail in acrylic or lucite paperweight type thing. I sold that. I had paid $5.59 for it when I got it. It sold for $12, but there was a big oopsie on this one when I listed it. And this is another learning thing. Somehow I hit the wrong button and it listed for a weight of 2 ounces instead of 2 pounds. So the buyer paid very little on shipping and I paid very lot on shipping. So I actually had a 48-cent loss on this piece because of the shipping discrepancy. Otherwise, I would have, my profit would have been right around $5 or $6 on it. But you know, you win some, you lose some, and I had such a great week. It's all good. The other piece that sold from my store was this Russian plate. Now, if you remember, I got 2 of them at the same time. One is green, one is blue. I had listed the blue one. I haven't yet listed the green one. I reached out to the buyer to ask if she was interested in getting a green one too. And she's like, nope, just I'll stick with the blue. And I'm like, all good, all good. So anyway, I paid $1.99 for this. It sold for $20. So my profit on this was $14.37. And when I say profit, that is deducting all my fees, but also deducting my cost of goods. So when I say it was, you know, $1.99, I subtract that $1.99, and then I also subtract all the different fees that I pay on that. So that is truly my profit, except for the cost of my box, the cost of my shipping material, and the cost of my gas to and from the post office, which is not far. It's super close. Okay, the other one that sold before my pottery show, paperweight show, part 2 paperweight show, was this Raku fish. And then the 4th one sold during the actual show on Friday night. So if you remember, I got 4 of them as part of a pottery auction lot, along with a bunch of other stuff. They have now all sold. I paid $5.29 for this fish. He sold for $23. Profit on that was $14.48. Okay, so that was the what sold before the paperweight sale. Then I had my big paperweight sale. It was my part 2. It was basically paperweights that didn't have a chance to run kind of thing. And it was an amazing show. What was so awesome was, for some reason, I was the only person scheduled in at 7:30 that night. So I had more people than I normally would have in a show. Plus, I'd been hyping it for quite some time. So super exciting show, super fun. We had a few little glitches at the beginning, but it's, you know, it's all good. It all worked out. They were user error glitches or user issue glitches, but it was a great show. So I am not going to go through all 36 items that sold, but I am going to tell you, I sold 36 items. Total sales was $813. My total cost of goods into that was $274.95 was my cost. So my cost of goods, $274.95. Total sales, $813, and then minus the fees, etc. My total profit from that show, which was 1 hour and 15 minutes, okay, live sale. My total profit was $423.18. I was so happy with that. I was so happy with that. Plus, I moved 36 items out into other people's hands. So very, very, very happy with that. Okay. All right. So let's talk about, as far as live shows, I have one more coming up in the near future. It's going to be on Sunday, the 29th of June, 2025. So this coming Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. And it's going to be trinket boxes and trinket dishes. So basically anything that holds something, small, little like jewelry boxes, trinket dishes, and like small little dishes. I mean, some are a little bit bigger dishes, from all kinds of things. Like there's studio pottery, there's like Portuguese. No, that's not it. That's not it. Is it Portugal? Yeah, actually it is. I've got a couple things that are Portugal, hand painted in Portugal pottery. There's a lot of different things. There's pottery, there's metal, there's enamel on copper, there's, I don't know, a bazillion different things. I will be loading the show all week. It may not get loaded totally till next weekend. I'm trying really hard, but I have a lot of trinket boxes and dishes. So we'll keep adding things to that. I will put the link in the description below. You can go check out what's in there, but there will likely be more. So yeah, okay, let's look at what I got, because this was a crazy week. So first thing that made this week so crazy, last Saturday, I went out to a thrift store that I haven't been to in, I want to say 6 to 8 months. It's called the Local Thrift, and something was telling me I need to go. It was just this voice of, you haven't been there in a while, you need to go see what's new. So I'm so glad I did, and I'm going to show you why. Okay. So first, they had a cabinet of things that were all, was it 25% off? No, 40% off. They were all 40% off. And they all had like a little purple mark on them. Excuse me. So first was an Amy Lacombe cat. Okay. And this one, it says love. It's got X and O. It's got a little heart. It of course has Amy Lacombe right here. It has the item number on the bottom. It's not focusing, but it's there. So I think her line is called Whimsically, Amy Lacombe, and we've talked about her stuff a lot. So I'm not going to go into great detail on her right now because we have covered her in past videos. But, and actually I will try to go back through the videos if I have time and note which video we talked about Amy Lacombe. Anywho, cat. I paid $2.40. Can you believe it? $2.40 for this guy. So my last one sold for $18. The solds are in the 13 to 20 plus range. They're literally all over the place. I think it depends, you know, on the where it's sold and when it's sold and all of that. But I do have 2 customers that have purchased Amy Lacombe cats from me in the past. I will reach out to them first before I list it to see if they want it. And if one of you guys sees it first before I am able to do that, reach out to me, let me know. I will likely be listing him right around, I may start him at 24 and take offers. We'll see. We'll see on that. But anyway, I only paid $2.40. So that was really exciting. The other thing right in the same cabinet, and you'll recognize these because, you know, it's like after a while, everything starts looking the same, right? So you know this, Sarah Meadows Balloon People, right? We've done, I think, 2 other pieces of hers in the past. But look at this. This is a cat lover. And what's funny is the other day, I actually saw the similar one to this that was a dog lover at a different thrift shop, but it was missing the nose. So I did not pick it up. So this one is complete. It's in excellent condition. It is Sarah Meadows, Balloon People. I don't know if there's a signature. Stoneware is really tough because, you know, people write things in the stoneware and then you cannot read them because of the texture of the sand in the clay. So I know this is Sarah Meadows Balloon People just because we've had her stuff before and they all have the same look. So I paid $6 for it because it is a cat lover. And this is another one where the solds are all over the place. So I don't know that I saw this exact one, and if I did, they range. So I wrote down 15 to 35 because literally her stuff is all over the place, but I paid $6. So I'm excited about that one. It's a little dusty. I need to do some cleaning, but I loved it. I was so excited. And then in that same cabinet, now we know that the law-specific things don't always sell quickly because they're very specific. But do you know what this is other than a cat that's a lawyer? Do you know who made it? turn them around and see if there's any clues. Are there any clues on the bottom? Oh yes, there's a clue. It's Artisanía Rinconada, Uruguay. Okay, so it was just sitting there. So I paid $3 for this guy after the discount. And that's really exciting. So the Artisanía stuff, they sell 15 to 18 all day, any day. I love that it's a cat. I love that it's got whiskers. I love that it's in such great condition and still has a sticker. So super cool. Actually in 1992, oh my gosh, you guys, look at that. No, 1994. Obviously I can't read. 1994. It's funny, from certain angles it looks like a 2, but as soon as you get it there, it's clearly a 4. So it has the copyright. So it's old, it's in amazing condition. I paid $3 for it. So that was so exciting. Then I turned the corner and I saw, and you guys might recognize this if you've been watching all my videos, another Bill Campbell oil lamp missing the part that goes in here with the wick. And I say another because I recently sold one of these. Now the one I sold was not as dark in coloration. So this one is even, I think, a little bit nicer than the one I sold. And we've got Bill Campbell's signature on the back. And again, we've done deep dives into Bill Campbell in the past as well. So I knew what it was right away because I've sold pretty much this exact thing. So this one was marked up, even though it was on, like, it was 50% off. So it had a $15 sticker on it, and had it actually been $15, I probably would have had to have left it, because mine sold basically for a best offer of $15. But this was marked $7.50, and I wanted to have another Bill Campbell in my collection, in case anybody asks me if I have any Bill Campbell, because that does come up. And so, you know, worth 15 to 18 or more. If it had the insert, because this is an oil lamp, if it had an insert, it would be higher for sure. So that was exciting. Then I found this. So this is a rattle. It's Raku. It's got a dragonfly on it. It's got a dragonfly here. And what was fun was I actually did a little image search on it right in the store, and some stuff came up right away. Excuse me, so I picked it up. I picked it up for only $3. These guys sell around 30, okay? So when they're brand new, they sell around 40. Okay, rattle, we're gonna talk about it. So this is basically the style. The artist, his name is John Davis. He is based in Texas. Let's see if he's still in Texas. Did I write it down? Actually, you know what? I printed out his, yeah, he's in Texas. So this is John Davis. It's not a great picture. This is him working on a pot. Born and raised in far west Texas, the vast high desert proved to be fertile ground for inspiration to ceramic artist John Davis. So basically what happened was he noticed when he was younger that he had young daughters. He knew that already. And they would go out and they would collect rocks, and they would go hunting for things and get really excited about things that they picked up. Tarnished coins, unusual rocks, rusted horseshoes, etc., etc. So I'm not sure where the leap happened, but he started thinking about making rattles. Now, he was already doing ceramics. And let's see, does it say? His line of Raku ornaments and inner spirit rattles are his most popular products. And it says dragonflies were a recurring symbol in many Native American tribes. For the Navajo, they represented pure water, which endures no matter how often it changes form. The dragonfly has endured through the ages since before the dinosaurs, and it's a beautiful symbol of resilience. So it's kind of a symbol of resilience. The other thing is, I'm going to just show you again. So it's got some iridescence to it. It's kind of a matte finish, and he explains that that's based on the Raku. You never know what you're going to get when it fires. And then he adds the little beaded touch, and it's so cool. So anyway, $3, worth about 30. And he is quite the artist. I mean, it's not just the rattles. I'm going to just show you something. This is another piece that he made. Okay, so it shows you his ability, and it's truly amazing. So it says, let's see, I'm just going to see if I can find it on here where it talked about, yeah, no, it doesn't look like I printed that out, but this was an exhibit he did for Artful Home. And he's in galleries and whatnot. And it's just really exciting, when you find a piece and you learn about another artist and you learn about another piece and you realize, wow, I was just sitting in a dusty cabinet in a thrift store and it's got a story and it's kind of fun. So that was exciting. Then last week, we were introduced to C.C. Lee, and I told you all about his tiles. And I made a comment last week that, oh, I had just picked up another one at a thrift store, but you have to wait till today to see that one. So basically, this is another C.C. Lee tile. And what was so interesting is I had just done the research on his work, and on that mark, right, that C.C. Lee Mad Monk, I think it's Mad Monk Art, is the name of their business, he and his wife. And, he designs everything and then she glazes everything. So, and they start by pressing the clay into burlap, in case you didn't watch last week's video. So anyway, so cool. And, see it laying there. It's like, I know what that is. I just picked one of those up. So Mad Monk Art, I paid $4 for this tile. They're worth in the 20 to 35 range. So that was exciting. And then the last thing I picked up, I only picked up because I've got a trinket dish sale coming up and I wanted some variety. So it's a really nice wood-turned bowl. It's small and it's signed, okay? So it says C. Stefan 2008 European Olive. So this is an olive wood piece and it's really well done. You can see how thin it is. It's lathe turned, wood turned, but it's very fine, very thin. So the artist definitely had some skill in creating this piece. I paid $6 for it. Again, prices are all over the place. So they go 15 to 25 to 35 to 45. And, it's hard to tell from some of them what the sizes are. I think 15 to 18 might get into a bidding war. Probably not. I think not everyone loves the wood stuff. So I don't know, but worth more than $6, and I was so excited. So that was my trip to local thrift. And then from there, I ran down the street to Unique in Falls Church, which is semi-close to local thrift. And they didn't have too much. I just picked up a couple things. I found this cup, and it's cool. It's got the little thumb hold. So like your thumb fits really nicely in there while you're drinking. It's a well-made cup and it's stoneware. And unfortunately, being stoneware, again, you've got the one signature here and you can see that there's writing here and there's writing here and you cannot read it. And I've tried so many things. I tried the thing with you put the flour in it, you put the cinnamon in it. I've tried all kinds of things to read it. And the only thing that it actually sticks in is this thing here that looks like initials. I'm not sure if it goes this way or the other way, but there's initials there. And then there's definitely a whole bunch of words. And one of them looked like studios or something like that, but I literally, it's like it was stamped and the stamp kind of wore off. So you just can't see what it says. So I don't know who made it, which is really sad because it's clearly artist made. And it says, be happy every day, right? And it's pink. And I think this is really cool. So I paid $1.99 for it. It's probably in the 15 to 18 range. If I do an auction, it will start around $12. So there's that guy. And then the only other thing I picked up there was this papier-mâché egg. And again, it's a trinket box. So when I'm thinking like, okay, I need to get a few more trinket boxes, that's kind of what I gravitate towards. So it's really nice. It's the cashmere lacquer work made with papier-mâché, and I've got a lot of pieces right now that have that lacquer wear technique. I paid $3.59 for it. It's worth $12 to $15. So we'll see if anybody's interested in that this coming weekend. Then I popped over to a Goodwill in Fairfax. I'm giving you all my secrets. Now, these are not places I go a lot. Unique, I do go quite a bit, but it might not be in Falls Church, is it? It's in Merrifield. I'm not sure where that is. Anywho, two things, only two things. I picked up this sculpture of an Indian woman. It is done with polymer clay. Okay, a Native American woman, I should say. And she's holding a feather. I don't know if you can see that. So it's actually got some texture. And then it is signed on the bottom. Okay, so, and her feet are so cool. It's just so good. It's so good. So these are wise women, or this is a wise woman with feather sculpture with polymer clay. I paid $2.99 for it. They sell 18 to 29. And I can't quite read who that artist is. If you know, let me know. But I just thought that was really cool. And then the thing that I was super excited about, and you know, I get so excited about things and then it kind of tempers down when I do more research. But I'm going to lift this thing up. It's super heavy, so hang on. I want to not break anything. Okay, reaching over here. Now, I have two different sailboat sculptures. One of them is by this artist. The artist name is Mario Jason. And it says, you can see it says Jason 74 down at the bottom. I have not really cleaned this yet, so it's still a little dusty. It is a wagon with a tree and a bird on the fence sculpture. And then there's some flowers. There's flowers in the sand over here. There's flowers back there, or a flower back there. And it's on a very heavy piece of onyx. Okay, so this is your piece. Now this is a big one, right? So his smaller pieces sell like 15 to 18, some 24. They don't sell for a ton. Some of his bigger pieces, and I would consider this to be a bigger piece, sell in the hundreds. And he had one that was a bonsai tree. It was like this, but the tree had more texture and depth to each section, and it bent over, and that sold for over $600. When I looked at this from the store, I saw all the listeds, and all of the listeds are like 125, 129, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only $11.99. So I got this. And then I did more research when I got home, and I went into Worth Point and I looked at the solds to find this exact one. And they're a little bit all over the place, but they are nowhere near $125. The ones that have people, so if it was this that had like a couple kids, instead of the wagon, it had a couple kids there, those sell over $100. The wagon, for some reason, doesn't sell a ton. So the solds I found were $29.50, $28, $29.99. There was one at $94.25. There was one at $39. So, you know, definitely at least 25. So at least double what I paid for it. I would probably start it higher. I probably would not start it at 125 because there are plenty of competitors out there in that price range. So I don't know. I might start it at 75. I might start it at 68. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. But it's really cool. It's brass. It's really old, from 74. And I think that's one of the things, you know, why I'm attracted to these things. Like, I remember when I was a kid, you'd go to craft shows and you would see the artists doing this metal work with the stone. I don't know if I met him or another person doing similars. My parents bought some pieces, so they have some of the metal with stone at their house. So it's just, you know, I see it and I'm like, oh, I know what that is. So anyway, paid $11.99, which is a lot, but I think it's worth more. It may sit for a while. It's not something that every person is going to want. But being that I am Liz Art Finds, I get really excited about the art stuff. I just do. So anyway, then my last stop of the day, I popped over to Savers, and I hadn't been there in a bit, and I found a lot of stuff. I also found a lady there who was shopping, and I recognized her as having worked there previously, and we struck up a conversation. It was so much fun to meet somebody else that's really into this sort of thing. So that was just, it was cool. Anywho, Bovano of Cheshire, we've talked about that before. Hang on a second, okay, we didn't talk about that yet. Bovano of Cheshire from Connecticut. I do have another bowl that's smaller, that's Bovano, that I think is still listed over on Niknax. This one has its sticker, please focus. It says handcrafted by Bovano of Cheshire, Connecticut. Okay, so this is different. The other one I have is a lighter blue and it has a more symmetrical pattern in the center, but this is enamel on copper. It is scratched a little bit on the back, so you can see the copper right here, if there's any question that it's enamel on copper. But the top of it's fantastic. I paid $3.19 for this guy. It's probably worth 20 to 30. I would say if I'm selling him over on Niknax, it might be a little less because of the little scratch on the back. But excited to find that. Sorry, I'm losing my place. Then I picked up a baggie, and there were two things in the baggie. The baggie was $6.39, so I attributed $3.19 to one piece and $3.20 to the other. This is one of the pieces. Okay, so this is Native American etched pottery. I haven't cleaned it yet. It is signed at the bottom, something Johnson. Okay, so I'll need to do a little bit more research. Like I said, it's still dirty. I haven't cleaned it yet. I've been super busy getting everything shipped out from that paperweight show, which I just finished a little while ago. Anywho, okay, so these actually sell really well. 18 to 40, so the prices are all over the place depending on the colors, I think, possibly depending on where it was sold. I'm holding all of my native pottery, and I'm probably going to do like a native and South American show sometime this year. I don't know when. I'm still collecting, so it may be after, maybe the fall when I do that, but this will save for that. Unless, of course, somebody wants something, and just reach out and I will see what I can do. I also found this in the same baggie, which is so weird. I mean, usually they put similars together, and this has nothing. I mean, it's just so different. So I don't know yet if this is Italian, Czech, or Japanese. There is similarity in the way that they color the vases and design them. And my eye is not trained enough yet to know the difference. So by Czech, that would be Bohemian. It's also, like I said, a lot of Japanese stuff looks similar, and I see a lot of these listed as Italian. So I've got to do some asking around and figure out where this came from, but it's really pretty. I paid $3.19 for it. The similars are 25 to 40. It's hard to tell with a lot of them how big they are, if they're small like this guy or if they're larger size. So at least 18. I did say 25 to 40, but I'm pretty sure 18 to 24 at least for this size. So that was exciting. Then, let's see. Oh, God, I have to show you these. Check out these mugs. I couldn't believe these were there. Check out these mugs, you guys. They almost match my shirt. So these guys were done, these are signed, and they're signed Bradford, and I was able to find the artist. Not like talk to him yet, but I think that's upside down. Don Bradford is the artist. This looks very much like some of his other work, so it's pretty clear that that is who made these. They're amazing. So This is Don Bradford, right here, Don Bradford. And that's just a couple years ago. So he is a ceramic artist with over 40 years experience. He did raku, he did pit barrel firing, he does ceramic sculpture. He's taught and lectured at various institutions, and his work has been exhibited in several museums. So he retired, so he's in New York State, just outside of New York City in West Nyack, I guess. A farewell retirement party for pottery teacher Don Bradford was held in May of 2023. So 2 years ago, he retired. Yeah, I think he's still in the studio though, because that picture was posted on his Facebook, and I think it was posted this year, potentially, if not then last year. So I mean, it's fairly recent. So I think he's still making stuff. I don't know how old these pieces are, but they're amazing. I mean, the quality on these is amazing. So anyway, I paid $6.39 for each of these mugs. I think they're worth, well, if I get to set my price, I think they're worth at least $24 each. They're amazing. I'd probably even start at higher than that, but if I'm going to sell them at auction, obviously I would have to start them lower. So I wrote down 15 to 42 each. 15 is low for what these are. So they're amazing. I just did a pottery sale, so it's going to be a while before I do another one, although I am getting a lot of pottery in. So we'll see. I'm not sure about when those will actually go and where they will go, but I kind of love them. So I've actually toyed with keeping them, but I probably won't because I have so much stuff. Then I found this wooden cat, and he's got a mouse on his tail. He's painted. He's kind of big. He's one of those things you would put like by your fireplace as a decoration, or maybe even as a doorstop. It's signed, and that was part of the reason I picked it up. It says T Webb 03, and I think it's Thomas Webb is the artist. I think, don't quote me on that because it's been a bit since I looked it up and I didn't write it down. But he does have other wood sculptures that he made, and they sell. So I paid $3.99 for him. He's probably worth 12 to 15, so not a ton, but you know, for the right person, he's really cute. So I do pick up the cats when I find them, because who knows when I'm going to have another cat sale. And then the last thing I found there, is it the last thing? It is the last thing I found there. This ornament. So this is a glass ornament, the orbs, and they typically sell around 15. I wrote 12 to 18 on that. I've never seen them in the boxes. Typically when I'm selling them just freestanding. So this is handmade in Poland. So it even says handmade glass from Poland. Looks like the top is top of the box is kind of messed up a little bit. Mouth blown and hand decorated by Polish artisans. Don't know specifically who, but it is in its original box. So I paid $6, so $5.99 for it. Worth 12 to 18 on that. Okay. And then I went out Saturday, so I guess I must have gone out Tuesday or Wednesday, excuse me, to a local thrift store. Give me a second, gotta sip some water. Looks like we're running a little over, so I want to go quick because there's something I really want to show you. So I got just a few things, middle of the week. I got this little tiny trinket dish again, because I'm collecting trinket dishes right now. I paid 99 cents for that. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I paid 99 cents for that. It's worth 6 to 12. I got a set of stoneware pottery bowls. I have not been able to look up the artist on these yet. Basically just a set of 3. Okay, so they're all by the same artist. I paid 99 cents for each of those. Each one probably 8 to 12. That would be a reasonable amount. I mean, basically what I've been getting for my stoneware bowls. I found a tile. This is that Tisandra tile that we've talked about before. Paid $1.99 for that. These sell 12 to 24. And then I got one more thing. I got it's like plastic, so it was kind of interesting. It's a little tray, and it's like plastic, but it was signed George Briard, right? So I'm like, well, it's got to be something. So I picked that up. I paid $1.99 for that. It's probably worth 8 to 12. What I've seen with the plastic ones, like a lot of the glass ones sell pretty well. The plastic ones seem to have been sold in like a set of 4. And so people are selling entire sets, and there's very few that are just the single little plastic tray. So I don't know how much that'll go for. Hopefully at least 8, and we will see. So basically total spend this week for all the things was $92.74. And I think a reasonable amount for value is right around $368 or so. So that is 4 times the amount. So that was, it's pretty good. I was so excited. It was such a good week. So the other thing that was really exciting this week, and usually I don't go into great detail on the auction stuff, but I got some stuff at auction and I picked it up Friday. And the reason I want to talk to you about it is because some of the things already sold. So I can give you like a real time, like, here's what I paid. Here's, what it's really worth on some of the pieces. So the first lot, I picked up 4 lots. My total spend, including the buyer's premium and everything, was $83.42. I've already made that back and more, okay? And I haven't even sold half of the things. So the first lot was 5 glass and crystal animals. So it was these 5 animals, okay? So I sold the bird. So first of all, I got the lot for 16. I sold the bird for 12, and I sold the fish for 12. So I'm already ahead. I haven't sold the snail. I still have this little lampworked fish. It's like really detailed, like all very detailed. So that's, I don't know when I'm going to sell that guy, but whatever. But the most exciting thing here is that. Let me just show you him in person. This. I have not sold him yet. I didn't put him in my paperweight sale because I know what he is. This is chalet glass, okay? It's even got its sticker. This is a horse. They did not make a lot of these from what I understand. Now, is it worth a ton? No. The solds that I found are in the 20s, like $24. But there's people that are collectors that really, really are looking for this guy. So I'm pretty sure that I'm going to post this in the Chalet Glass Collectors group and see if anybody is interested before I put him anywhere else. But Chalet is a Canadian company. Basically, the people that created the Chalet glass stuff came from Murano. They came, there's Chalet, there's Lorraine, the artists, the artisans, the furnace people learned their craft in Murano and emigrated to Canada. So amazing quality. It was one of the 5 pieces. I can't believe I got that whole lot for $16. I've already made back 24, and I still have 3 pieces left on that. So that was exciting, okay? The second group, I have not sold anything yet, but it was this group of pottery pieces. Now, I left the measuring spoons or measuring cups there. I did not bring them home just because the quality was not great, and I did not think that I could sell them. So everything else I have. They're really nice quality pieces for the most part. I paid $12 for this whole set, if you can believe that, right? So there's, I don't even know how many pieces, but that's like $1 a piece. This one is like a duck cooker or chicken cooker or something like that. This one, there was paperwork with it talking about what it was. I can't remember right now, but there's paperwork with like half of them. This is a set of studio pottery bowls. It was just a really nice set for $12, which I know is worth more than that. Okay, the next one I picked up, 1, 2, 3, 6 pieces, 7 pieces. I'm just trying to figure out which is which. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 6 pieces of glass. Okay, so I got this lot because of this piece and this piece. When I got there, I left that piece and I left that piece for other people to take. I probably should also have left those two because they don't really have a ton of value. I mean, you know, this vase here might be a $6 to $8 vase. The other one I'd need to do a little bit of research on, but it's in pretty bad condition. However, that bird, I need to do some research and see if he's Murano or see if he's not. He's not signed, so he's really cool. And I think he glows a little bit. I don't remember, but there was this. Now, I had actually seen this paperweight when I was there the week before, and I thought about just getting it for my paperweight sale. As soon as I got this home, I couldn't part with it. It's amazing. So this was part of it. The artist on this piece is Nick Delmato. He is in Ohio. That is a really bad picture of Nick Delmato blowing glass. And he has a website. He's been doing pottery for over 50 years, starting in 1970 at Kent State University. So he, again, is quite the artist. That piece, like, I don't know, unfortunately, the ring light is reflecting in here, but there's so much going on. There's like a central core of bubbles that make a swirl, like a spiral, and then there's this flower thing going on, and I am way over on time. Okay, so anyway, I'll put that aside. It's worth, that piece alone, they sell around $69. His solds on different websites. What's weird is he sells them new for like 35 to 60, but some of his solds are as high as 69 to 70. So I'm going to keep that for a while. If I decide to sell it, it'll be in the fall or next year sometime. But that whole lot, I'll be able to sell the bird and get back what I paid. I think I paid $13 for the entire lot. So I paid $13 for all of these pieces. I will get that. I'll get 12 to 18 or more for the little bird guy. Get that for my collection until I decide I want to sell it. And then the last set was these guys. I left this one there because it was huge. I do have a George Briard tray. This piece is worth some money. I've got to do a little more research on it. That globe is heavy. It's like a big crystal ball with a globe, so it's not like a paperweight. It's in pristine condition. Those things sell for like 50-ish. But there was a Murano paperweight here. It already sold for 56. The two apples, one sold for 14, one sold for 19. So I paid $25 for this lot. I've already made 89 from just these 3 things, and I still have this one, and this one. This is just the box for that. So anyway, amazing auction haul, just amazing week, amazing sale. Just, I don't know if I can top that. So this coming week may be a little slower because there's nothing at the auction house that I have to have. So yeah, that was a lot. So thank you guys for sticking with me. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, share. And yeah, I'll be on Niknax on Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you then. If not, I will see you next week with another video. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.